essentially convicted in the media. You don't have to read but a few articles to see how negative they are about him. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent.
Phoenix rising from the ashes, seeking truth. Out the flames I emerge, wind scorched but unbroken. Truth's the flame, I carry every word's a token. In the nest we synchronize, hearts beat in unison. Searching for the light when the system's cut in wisdom. They built walls on lies, try to bury our voices, but we gather in the streets, reclaiming our choices. Innocent until proven, that's the creed we recite under banners of justice. We ignite the night, we rise like a phoenix. We're searching for truth, in sync with the nesters, we're reclaiming our youth. Stand up when one falls, yeah, we got your back. In a free land united, we're launching the attack. Justice for the voiceless, break the chains of deceit. Under the Constitution, we will never retreat. Systems cracked at the seams, built for the few. We expose every scheme, bring the lies to view. Movements on the rise, hearts fueled by conviction. Truth seekers aligned, demand a new vision. We march on the courthouse, banners in the sky. Echoes of freedom, watch the old guard comply. No more hidden agendas, no more verdicts sold. Every voice is a weapon, every story be told. Innocent till proven guilty, that's our final decree. Under this Constitution, we're forever free. Phoenix in the dawn, truth lights up the sky. Together we stand tall, no more asking why.
All right, folks. Impromptu live coming right at you. You know, today's Thursday, the 28th of August, and I just have to say, you know, yes, there was a hearing today. There was a temporary restraining order, a TRO, versus Karen Laramie. Others have now joined her, the Chapins, and it's against the city of Moscow. They do not want them to release any more private pictures inside the bedroom of these victims, the crime scene bedrooms. And it made sense this morning when people were telling me, well, they're streaming it. So I call and I get an answer, and I get a voicemail. And hey, Christine, welcome in. Thanks for joining. And I think to myself, why would they be so animate about filing against the city of Moscow to not release any more pictures? And I'm thinking to myself, let's think about this strategically, logically. Sorry, I had to shut my studio door. So let's think about this logically. And let's put on our thinking critical caps. And Carrie, welcome in. So this was totally impromptu. So I'm watching it, and the judge decides to keep the temporary restraining order in place, telling Moscow, no, Moscow, you can't release any more body cam pictures, footages of the bedrooms. So I go over my notes, and I'm reviewing my notes of what I've seen from Moscow. And Moscow Police Department, in their records and in their files, if you have not seen and you do not know where to gather these documents to see for yourself, go to Justice, spell out for, FOURALL, and that will give you where you can download all these important documents. Why is it important? Because you should know if you are concerned with, one, our justice system, and two, innocent people being forced to take plea deals. Okay? So I start looking through my notes, and I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute here. The city of Moscow has agreed to temporarily hold any pictures from the crime scene. And I remember writing in my notes a document released by the ISP, and all these documents are indeed here. You can go and you can download them yourselves, or you can review them yourselves. And the documents for the ISP that I'm going to specifically talk about right now is document supplement 0032. 0032. And in this document specifically, I'm going to talk about some things that this investigator saw in the house as a crime scene investigator. This individual arrived on scene at the request of Moscow. They asked the ISP, the Idaho State Police, hey, we need your help. Get over here now. And they arrive on scene at about 12:34-ish. Okay. That was 12:34-ish. Sergeant Gilbertson with the ISP arrived. And they could not enter the house. And this is the Idaho State Police. They could not enter the house until about 5 p.m. after the search warrant was signed. They had to get a search warrant. Then he enters the scene and conducted a walkthrough. As we entered the front north-facing first floor door, I observed the following. And let me tell you, it made total sense why Moscow said, don't release any more footage today. Don't release any pictures, because ISP released their documents. They released their pictures. Moscow Police Department released their documents, and they released a body cam footage that we've been questioning since day one, that we don't see any red stuff or blood at this crime scene. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Holy heck. I'm sure you've seen this. I'm sure you've seen this. Now, folks, this is wild. And this is why they do not want us to see the truth. They don't want us to see the truth. See, ISP had no skin in the game here. They were engaged as a third party. Moscow wanted their help. ISP said, sure, we'll get up on scene and we'll help however we can. And remember, the first part of the document that I'm talking about, this is where it was third party said that it's okay, Kaylee, I'm here to help you. That was because that was relayed to him. It's not actually what Dylan said on the crime scene body cam. Okay? I know this is a special impromptu live. You guys got 3 in one day. Get ready, because I'm ready to give it to you. Okay? This was an impromptu live. I was going to put a video together. I am not great at doing videos. I would rather go live and share with you on the fly. Nothing is rehearsed here. Everything you get is real and raw and spontaneous. So if you get feisty Phoenix, then that's what you're going to get. If you get spicy Phoenix, that's what you're going to get. But I'm just telling you, it clicked for me about 5 minutes ago, and I thought, holy freaking right. Moscow, the city of Moscow, does not want anything released, because ISP already released their facts and their findings in their investigation and their pictures, and it contradicts the agenda in the narrative that Moscow has been pushing for the last 2.5 years plus. You're getting it real and raw. I am not some guy that desperate women need to throw money at to pay attention to them online. I am a woman and I support other women. I do the same. If I see a really good content creator, I will donate. I will give to the cause. But I'm not looking for a man to follow online to throw money at. Guys, I am giving you this stuff because this is my passion and this is my purpose, and you're getting the real raw Phoenix. Now let me get into it. All right, I'm going to drop that fireball for you. Moscow doesn't want the word to get out that, hey, they're trying to keep it as clean as they can. And if you just watch my video I posted, you get it now. We all thought that, but nobody showed you. I'm about to show you. I'm going to play a real quick clip here for you. I've only got a tight schedule, but I'm going to go ahead and show it for you. And I want you to keep this in mind as I read this before I play this. They entered at about 5 o'clock. Remember, Moscow was there at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. This timestamp on the body cam says 12 o'clock. ISP shows up about 5 o'clock. And they start saying, as soon as I entered the residence from the front door, there's a bathroom in front of you south. There's a bedroom to the right west. It appeared to be unlived in. To the left was a staircase and a second floor and a small hallway. As you walk down the east of the hallway, there's a little mechanical room to the right. To the south, the hallway ended in a bedroom. That bedroom had clothing on the floor and the bed was disheveled. That's Bethany's room. Her dresser was against the north wall and had a broken door, and a drawer was partially opened. There didn't appear to be any blood inside the room. So there was no blood in Bethany's room. But how did her dresser door against the north wall had a broken door and a drawer partially opened? Don't know. But he noted that because that was something important. Now, he states, B, as you go up the stairs to the second floor, you enter a small living room area. This is the picture that you see on screen. This is the picture, the body cam. Idaho State Police is saying next, there was a folding table in the west side of the area, partially blocked the entryway west hall. The table had multiple red solo cups in a game formation, hence beer pong, along with a steak knife. There were multiple areas of red liquid on the table that appeared to be blood. As I walked west from the living room, there was a half wall to my right. I could see multiple drops and runs of red liquid along the entire wall. Now I'm going to play this video for you, and I want you to tell me where you see the multiple areas of red liquid on the table, on the wall, and the runs of red liquid on the entire wall. You show me, because everybody's been saying, oh my God, there's no blood in this crime scene, in this body cam. There's nothing. There's nothing. This guy got there within, let me look at the report again, time. It says he got at about 12:34 ISP, Sergeant Darren Gilbertson advised me of the request. I was assigned, and then he goes to say, okay, I was assigned. So this guy arrives, doesn't say what time he arrives. He reported the actual report on the 6th of December at 11:37. He doesn't say what time he starts his report. Okay, right here, 2:41. Okay, so they've been in the house for 2 hours and 41 minutes. Then he arrives on the scene, and people were already there. It basically says, Captain Roger Lanier, Dustin Blaker, Detective Payne, and multiple other officers were providing scene security. He gave him a rundown of what happened in the house, but it wasn't until 5 p.m. that he was able to get a search warrant to go inside and look at this investigation house. He had to have a search warrant. So he says that from the living room, looking on the west bedroom, I could see a female laying in the center of the room. But, let me play the video, and then I want to go forward and show you. Of course, they've edited this video. Across the half wall north, I saw more red stains on the wall above the first and second floor staircase. This is the first and second floor staircase. Let's watch. Show me if you see any of this red stuff anywhere.
And I checked this user's real cheese. And I didn't check them yet, but I'm 13.
take it back.
I don't know if they're still in here or not. Really, I grabbed the knife. They're like
1370.
Now notice Hunter Johnson's demeanor. There are dead bodies on the ground. There, not one, two. And look at his demeanor. I want to preface this with saying, you see the disclaimer on this screen. This is personal interpretation and speculation. It's not intended to accuse, defame, slander, or harm any reputation of any person or entity. All individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Damn, I sound like Judge Wapner. Now listen, I want you to think about this long and deep tonight. Hunter walks in the house with the police as casual as can be. Well, there's dead bodies laying there. We know for a fact he's already been inside the house. We know for a fact. He's not bothered by it. He was just in there when they called 911, and he's okay with this. It doesn't look like shock to me. It looks like he already knew and rehearsed. Now, let me just preface this. I used to be in drama class. You can go and verify it with whoever you want. My mom, my brothers, my family. I used to be in school, high school plays. I actually went to school with somebody very famous, by the way, on a side note. Anyways, with that being said, when you are in drama class, you practice, you rehearse your lines. You do whatever it is to be the best on stage. Remember that. Hunter has already been in this house and seen the individuals and spared the girls from seeing them per what we've been told. And then he just casually walks in there with the police and says, oh, hey, by the way, and then magically a knife appears, and then the whole process is get out. We got to lock this scene down. Now, I want you to remember this. It's going to be so important when I show you the next step. Because the ISP is telling in this report when he walks in, there is blood all over, guys. But the body cams don't show you anything. What is Moscow so afraid of? That someone else is going to release the true crime scene? Someone else is going to show you what really happened?
Okay, stay back there, please.
Nothing on that wall. Nothing on that wall. But yet, Idaho State Police say, right here, above the first and second floor staircase, the stains and liquid were consistent with cast off and appeared to be blood. Supplement number 32, ISP, paragraph B. The stains and liquid were consistent with cast off, appeared to be blood. Continuing down the west hallway. Well, he's going down the stairs to go get someone else.
Slow down. Just come here. There's two.
What in the world are they hiding and continuing to hide so that they don't want us to see?
Looks like fatalities.
And you just nailed it, Caleb. You just nailed exactly what I was going to say. Listen to the expression on these cops' faces. Listen to their Listen to their reactions versus what we don't see, or the lack that we don't see because they have blocked it out. Remember this. I bet you that cop said, what the F? Holy crap, what have we just walked into? Dude, they blocked it out. He was just in Xana's room walking out. Again, look around and see what's been blurred out or blocked out. Because in this ISP report, this detective, this crime scene guy, he basically says on the first and second floor staircase above on the wall, there were red stains. The stains and liquid were consistent with cast off to be blood. And then he continues from the living room, looking to the west bedroom. I could see the female when I entered her room. They just exited on the body cam. Her legs and arms appeared to be covered in blood. As I entered the room, I saw multiple red drops liquid near the entrance and multiple red drops of the door above and below the doorknob. A male was laying partially covered with a blanket and a comforter. And I won't go into the rest, but you can kind of get the idea. Okay? And then I want you to go back and look at the MPD reports that don't line up. They don't say anything about blood, guys. Weren't we shocked when they released the reports and we were like, where's all the blood? They didn't want us to know about all the blood or see all the blood. But ISP, like I said, they didn't have any skin in the game. They just had to go and report what they saw. Then he says, exiting Xana's bedroom, this is the one he's on, D, and walking east, there wasn't any visible sign of interest in the bathroom. Outside the bathroom door, there appeared to be small drops of red liquid near the baseboard, a small smear of red-colored liquid on the south of the wall, and hair stuck to the wall. Then he goes on to say, south out of the living room, here we go, he's going to walk out to the living room just like these guys are. And he says, clearly, was a small step down and a bedroom immediately to the left east room, south to the staircase of the third floor with a small area under the steps into the kitchen. Here we go.
All right.
You hear Hunter, he's wanting to spew out the story. No one ever asked him what happened. He just automatically volunteers.
Okay. Nobody's allowed to leave for now, okay? Just stay here for me, please.
Hear the ambulance in the back?
Do you know the... Okay. Here. Can you guys go over to the dumpster for me, please?
So I'm going to fast forward this a little bit to get to the ISP document. I'm going to skip this. We know what he does when he goes upstairs. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this. Let me go a little bit more fast forward because he goes into the kitchen. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you the document so you know what I'm reading, just so you guys know. It says, when he walks into the kitchen on H, he says the kitchen counters were cluttered with dirty dishes, orange containers, and a fast food bag from Jack in the Box labeled Xana near the sink. The sliding glass door was just over halfway opened. On the outside of the window on the south wall were 2 handprints and a possible face print on the glass. There were also red colored drips on the north side cabinets near the sink and red colored liquid drops on the floor. The red colored marks appeared to possibly be blood. Now, I'm going to go back and we're going to look at the video and we're going to follow the rest of the video, and you can see that they have blurred out so much. Let's watch. Right there, you can see on the cabinets, just what I read to you, on the cabinets on the north side near the sink, a red colored liquid drop on the floor, and the red colored marks appeared to be possibly blood. They have blurred it out. If you can't see, you'll have to go back and you'll have to look and see where they blurred it out. You can go back. I can play this slow motion and you can definitely see everything that I am telling you about. They have tried to blur out as much as they possibly can. And folks, this was released so that we could see it, but they blocked it out. They knew when they walked in immediately this was not somebody passed out. That's why the officer went out and said, you guys aren't allowed to leave. He knew. Even though there was alleged cleanup, there was still things there. And then he goes on to say, and I'm going to share this with you so you can see what I'm reading. And then he says, as I walked south up the stairs, they switch back and forth. They switch back to the north. On the center wall banister were red colored liquid smears. They appeared to be blood smears. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, guys. We just saw the footage of Gunderson come up this area. There were blood smears. What? And then it says at the top of the small hallway directly to the west was Kaylee's room. And it appeared to be the bed was unmade and a black colored coat laying on the ground next to the bed on the left. Then when looking from the foot of the bed, partially behind the door, on the north wall was a wired dog kennel. There didn't appear to be any blood inside the room. Okay, so then he goes to talk with Dylan and Bethany and get statements. Let's go back to this statement. Let's go back. So he says, on the right side of the hallway ended a bathroom. To the south of the bathroom, there was a small bedroom, Mogan's. There didn't appear to be anything of interest in the bathroom. Now, this is where I question, they didn't mention the dog. I think the dog was already out by the time he walked in there at 5 o'clock. Okay, the dog was out. We saw in the body cam, I think it was 12:39, the dog was escorted out of the house. So, when you read K on this document, and we are on document 32 of the ISP, the Idaho State Police. It says, as I entered the bedroom, there was a bed directly to the left. East of the bed were Kaylee and Maddie. They were covered by a beige colored comforter with a large pool of liquid near the center of the comforter. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I remember in the police department documents that they were found with a pink blanket covering them. Now, this officer's saying it's a beige blanket. Now, someone's got to help me out. I had to double check myself, guys. So what did I do? I went over to the Moscow Police Department and I had to go and see what exactly was said in the narrative. Okay? I had to go and look and make sure, because I was like, now I am seeing things. And no, I was right. It says right here in the MPD documents, I observed Kaylee lying on the north side of the bed, and both of them were covered by a pink blanket, which was covered in blood. I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute here. I'm losing my mind over this case. And I thought, what? Why is somebody colorblind? Have we just literally lost it? Am I in an alternative universe? I mean, hello? So I go back to the ISP document and I continue reading. So number one, this officer says that it's a beige colored comforter. The other one says it's pink. It's covered in blood. Maybe it was beige and it kind of like when you put something in the wash and it dyes it a different color. I don't know. But these officers are doing two different things. Okay. Then it says there was a large liquid near the center of the comforter, multiple walls, and the ceiling. Guys, multiple walls and the ceiling had multiple areas of red colored cast off. Red colored cast off. And he doesn't say just the walls, multiple walls and the ceiling. Multiple walls and the ceiling. That room is not that small. That room is not that small. This is what the third party, no skin in the game, is telling us in that bedroom what he sees. Multiple walls and the ceiling had red colored cast off. There had to have been some fight up there for their entire freaking lives. Okay? Now, they could have been chased outside, but somebody got her, in my humble opinion, and they took her back up there, and it was everywhere. It said Mogan had multiple cuts on her face. We know that. Kaylee suffered severe trauma to her face and visible cuts with a large amount of dried red colored liquid on her face. And it appeared that she actually aspirated on blood coming from her mouth. I mean, these four deserve some justice. So it says, near Mogan's left hip was a tan-colored leather sheath partially covered by the comforter. That was sending a message to someone.
Feel the heat, truth ignites us from inside. Hear the roar, we'll never run, we'll never hide. Phoenix drops fireballs of truth, flames that scorch the...
Now, let me say this. When I saw this, I'll read it again so you guys can catch it if you missed it. Near Mogan's left hip was a tan-colored sheath, partially covered by the comforter, obviously the beige comforter. But if you go over to the MPD files, they say, and I'll pull it up so you can see it. Just so you have it. I should know this one by now. Here it is. Hopefully you can see this. Right here. I also later noticed what appeared to be a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Mogan's right side. I'll wait for it. And then it goes on to say, I'm reading the ISP document, that was just for reference, 2 different things. The upper mark was approximately my shoulder height. He found on the door edge, I saw multiple red colored transferred smears. The upper mark was approximately my shoulder height. So this is a guy, I would probably say he's probably like maybe 5'10" to 6 maybe. I mean, I don't know what the average height of a guy is today, but I'm just going to say anywhere between 5'10" and 6. Then he goes on to say, all the red colored liquids in the room were consistent with blood. Now, here's the deal. Remember the original narrative. They wanted us to believe 100% they were all sleeping. They went peacefully. There was massive fighting in this scenario, guys. Real crime scene, horrific fighting. And that's why they want to continue covering up. Who put the narrative together to mislead the general public, mislead these families, and mislead the nation in this story? Who covered them up? And I'm going to drop another bombshell for you. We know the timeline is not what they told us. We know it's a lie. I believe, in my humble opinion, I've uncovered the real timeline. And it's not what they told us. Just like this document that doesn't make sense when you start looking at all of the areas they collected prints and they collected blood swabs. You don't see that in the front. You don't see that in the body cams. Blood swab collected from the floor above the first and second staircase. Steak knife on the table we've seen. Blood collected from the half wall floor 2, side wall floor 2, staircase, hallway, bedroom entrance, light switch, west bedroom, nightstand. Guys, it's all over. If this guy took out all these blood swabs from his bag, he wouldn't just be doing this just to do this. Kitchen floor, north side cabinets, banister, exterior door, for door of floor 3, east bedroom, north wall, third floor bathroom, collected from exterior and upper door casing off of floor. Disposable I mean, he swabbed everywhere he thought he saw red residue. They did. Third floor, second floor bathroom, blue colored latex gloves in the trash. Why would somebody be throwing latex gloves located inside the house in the second bathroom? Why? Blue colored latex glove located in trash can of floor to bathroom. Whose bathroom is that? Whose bathroom is on floor to bathroom? That was the bathroom that Xana and Dylan shared, I believe. I don't think Dylan had her own bathroom. And if Xana's laying on the ground, I don't think Xana took off latex blue-colored gloves. Who was it? Who was it? Hallway floor 2, there was blood swabs done all in and out on floor 2 and floor 1. I'll leave you with this. There's more. Sometimes you don't want to know, and sometimes you come across something that you just can't stay quiet. And today it makes sense why the judge does not want anything else released, because third-party reporters, investigators, detectives from agencies unknown, that they don't want the information out there. I believe, in my humble opinion, they didn't want anything released, but with the national coverage, the truth had to come out. And it is. Will it come out in time? I don't know. Is someone going to stand up in practice law in Idaho and another state and say, yes, I'll fight for him? Will the Autism Innocence Project step up? Will the Innocent Project step up? Because I have not seen one shred of evidence that Brian Kohberger is the only unaliver in this horrific crime. Are we all supposed to just sit down and take it as a community, as a nation, and say, oh, no, y'all say he did it, so he must have done it. Y'all charged him. Who gave them his name? Where did that name come from? Because I'm only seeing it in one place in all these documents. I'm only seeing it in one place, folks. And I believe, in my humble opinion, allegedly, it came from Washington State University. Someone there said his name. And if it wasn't there, my second best guess would have to be the Pullman Police Department. Allegedly. Allegedly. So, go back, watch the body cam footage, read the supplement I have just shared with you, 0032. Go and read this, and you'll see, you guys, every single person out there that kept saying, this video is blurred out, something is not right. Something is not right. You are right. Your gut instinct, your intuition is right. And you know me, I'm just some grandma. I'm just some mom. I'm just some wife. One day I'll tell you my story about Idaho, because I lived in Idaho. I know Idaho. I'm not living in fear. I don't walk in the spirit of fear. That's not me. But I will stand up when I see injustice. I will stand up. If you don't think that your voice matters, it matters. But when you get back and you advocate and you fight for justice, for the right thing to do, sometimes it's just part of who you are. Whoever did this needs to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Whether you agree or disagree, I think we can all agree that justice needs to be served for the Idaho 4. For Kaylee, Xana, Ethan, and Maddie.
Listen up, the ashes stir, phoenix wings unfurl, seeking truth beneath the blur. Turnings for the lax, they meet the blur. Out the flames I rise, wings scorched but unbroken. Truth the blaze I wield, every rhyme's a token. In the nest we move, hearts stump in unison. Searching for the light where the system cuts our wisdom. Built on lies and steel, they boxed us in cages. Now we break the locks, rewrite history's pages. Innocent until proven guilty, that's the oath we recite. Under this constitution we ignite the night. We rise like a phoenix and sink, we claim the street.
Essentially convicted in the media. You don't have to read but a few articles to see how negative they are about him. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent.